No, this is not a John Wick spinoff. Has nothing to do with John Wick. I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, nope. It's a new thing. Hotel Artemis. So Hotel Artemis is a movie that takes place in the future, and Jodie Foster runs this hotel called Hotel Artemis. She's also a nurse, and so what'll happen is criminals get wounded, and if you're a member of the hotel's club, you can get in, and it's a super secret place that'll patch you up. The movie has solid enjoyment in it. Most of that comes from Jodie Foster and the environment as a whole. Jodie Foster really does carry a lot of this movie, though. It's just, for her, it's just non-stop. She's going to this room, that room, trying to stop the people from breaking into the hotel, all the while maintaining the rules. But essentially, she patches up criminals, but she's a super sweet lady. It's just that gray area. Things aren't so black and white in life. I enjoy the fact that Jodie Foster's character is a super nice lady who's basking in that gray area. Also, she and the place she runs, super stickler for rules, and that's a hook for me. I always like it when a place like this deals with criminals and criminal organization, but we have rules here. You can't kill each other, you can't fight each other, just a list of rules. You might run into some enemies in these hallways. Don't think twice about it. In that, the hotel in general, it brought me into its lore, it brought me into its world. Other than Jodie Foster, the movie more or less revolves around Sterling K. Brown. Can we just address the fact and appreciate the fact that he is named after a silver? It's a pretty sweet fucking name. But from him essentially spearheading the guests of this hotel, the development starts going down as you go down the list. Sterling K. Brown, less for Sofia Boutella, less for Charlie Day, less for Jeff Goldblum. It does go down from there. Batiste is in the movie too. He's essentially her security. He's great. I mean, if you're gonna have a big security guy in this movie, make us chuckle a couple times. He does that. The movie is not always so polished though. If you really take a moment to deconstruct this thing, it doesn't hold up. I don't think it's supposed to though. It's supposed to be a cheesy 90s action movie. I feel like this movie was actually written in the 90s and then sat on a shelf until now. And someone was like, oh, well that's old. Let's make this. But in movies like this that are supposed to be 90s action cheese, where you're supposed to have a myriad of things just kind of slide under the radar, there are a couple of moments when you stop and think about it, just character moments where you're like, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter if it's supposed to be 90s action cheese, that thing doesn't make sense that character did. One example with no spoilers is the fact that the main character goes to his brother, he's like, we need to get out of here now. There's someone here and we don't want him to know we're here. But in a hotel with a lot of rules, I'm pretty sure you can just hunker down in your room and he won't know you're there. Granted, something does happen that escalates the situation, and yeah, they probably should leave at that point. But before that happens, he starts freaking out, and he kind of, I felt like he got ahead of the plot. It has one action sequence in a hallway too, as a fight sequence. I really enjoyed the hell out of that. It's like after Daredevil season 1, everyone was truly like, fights in a hallway, folks. That's what sells it. Let's do that. It's also the only action sequence, so don't look for, this isn't really an action movie. It's a, hey, let's navigate this undesirable situation and keep it from being a high tension scenario. In fact, this movie does feel compartmentalized when it comes to the characters. I could have gone for a moment where everyone was in a room and they were like, all right, I hate you, but I can't fight you. But the plot of this entire movie is, hey, we don't want them to know we're here. No one can know that this lady's here. So it really deals with no one can know that anyone's in this hotel, save for a couple people who do interact. Most people in this movie did a great job. I thought Sterling K. Brown was great as the lead of the guests in the hotel. Sofia Boutella doesn't always have the roles that I feel showcases a badass character, but this is one of the more memorable roles she's had. Charlie Day was great as a scumbag, and Jeff Goldblum, the movie literally gets better when he steps on screen. Like I said, I could have gone for more development for some of those characters, but for the actors did their part well. The character I didn't like was Zachary Quinto's character. I think it's a mix of Zachary Quinto's character in the movie just wasn't written well and didn't do much. He did that thing people do sometimes, where it's like, I'm playing a villain, so I have to talk intense. Every syllable just needs to always be intense. Open the fucking door. You don't need to be like that. The super cool villain in this movie, 100 times more menacing than that. But in the end, Hotel Artemis, I really dug it. If you're gonna give me a 90s action movie that would have been right at home in the 90s, just commit to it. This movie committed. But in the end, walked out of this movie with a smile on my face. I will say Hotel Artemis is a good time. No alcohol required. A self-aware movie, it's rare these days. It's just a rare thing. All right, so Hotel Artemis, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite 90s movie or 90s action movie that didn't actually come out in the 90s? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.